عن كثير. Allah Azza wa Jalla says that whatever calamity affects you, it is because of your own deeds. وَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ, and He forgives many of your sins. This world that we live in has both khair and shar. Khair is virtue and shar is evil. In fact, when we look around, we see that evil is predominant. It exists more than khair and goodness. There are wars, crimes, sins, bloodshed, robbery, and you name it. We have to deal with all of these things. So, apparently, when we compare one with the other, we find that evil is predominant and it overcomes khair. So, that brings us a question, and this question is a very important one. In fact, just today, I received an email from a 14-year-old kid, and he asked me 3 questions. I didn't respond to that email yet, but inshallah we'll try to respond 2 of his 3 questions. So, and he the way how he addressed me was as if he was challenging. He said, I have a challenging questions, and I know no theologian will be able to answer. And here is a list. And he presented 3 questions, but guess what? These are the 3 most common questions that every person who has doubts about his deen has in mind. So, the question is that either Allah is not merciful or He is not all-powerful. Because if He is all-powerful, then He could easily interfere and control these problems. But if He doesn't, and He has power to control those problems, it means He is not merciful. So either He is not Al-Rahman or He is not Al-Qadir. If we believe that He is Al-Qadir and He has Qudra and control on everything, then get ready to deny His characteristic of mercy. And if you believe that He is merciful, then perhaps He has no Qudra to control the problems that we have to face on a daily basis. So get ready to deny His other characteristic of Al-Qudra. And we cannot do, we don't have these 2 options. These 2 options don't work for a mu'min. As a mu'min, as a believer, we have to believe that He is Al-Qadir and He is Al-Rahman at the same time. Then how do we solve this problem? Inshallah, we'll talk about this issue today. There are 2 ways to address this issue. The first is that when we talk about Islam, we don't care about Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and all those isms, but when we talk about Islam, Islam is a full package. When we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we believe in His Zat, in His being, as well as all His characteristics. We do not pick and choose that we believe only in this characteristic and not that one. This is not how it works. You cannot pick 2 characteristics and say that I will believe that Allah is Al-Qadir and Al-Rahman, but they cannot get along. Either He is Al-Rahman or Al-Qadir. You cannot say that. Because He does not have only 2 characteristics, He has many. One of those characteristics is Al-Hakim. The other one is Al-Alim. Al-Hakim means all-wise. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows many evil to take place in the society, allows wars to happen, allows many crimes to take place. Maybe there is some wisdom and some hikmah. But one wonders, what can possibly be there a hikmah in bloodshed, in crimes and rape, in child abduction, in all of these challenges that we face on a daily basis. What is their hikmah? Allahu A'lam. We don't know and we don't have to know. Just because you don't know doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Because if you believe that because I don't know, therefore it doesn't exist, it is called argument from ignorance. And it's a fallacy. You cannot say that. There are so many things that we don't know and they exist. Their existence is not dependent on our knowledge. We learn about them slowly, day by day. And there are millions of things out there that even by the time when we will be on our deathbed, we will be ignorant about them. Does it mean that they don't exist? Of course not. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has countless. He is Al-Hakim, He is all wise. We have wisdom, but we don't have countless wisdom. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not Hakim, He is Al-Hakim, all wise. It means He has countless wisdom. So it is possible that there is some action that we do not like, but there is a wisdom that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in His knowledge and we are not aware of that. So how can we question Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on His qudra or on His mercy? You know, many times, in fact, most parents deal with this situation. Young children, they ask for something that is not good for their health. Maybe they get hyper when they get a lot of sugar. And parents say no. Many times these children, when they're young, they think, you know, our parents, they're oppressing us. This is in their mind. They're not letting us eat candy. Why? So mean, right? This is what comes in their mind. But parents know the hikmah. Children do not know because they have not reached the level where they can understand that wisdom of their parents. We are worse than, lower than, in IQ level, lower than young children when we compare us with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if that is the case, how can we understand the wisdom of Allah Azza wa Jal in all of His actions? We are the same people when we go to see a doctor and doctor provides us prescription. We do not question him most of the time. Why are you giving this medicine and not that one? You just take it. You go to Walgreens, you get your prescription, and you start taking it. We do not ask our doctors the hikmah behind that particular medication. Then what authority do we have to question Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that why wars are happening, why there are murders and killings and rape and many other crimes? On what authority, on what ground we ask this question to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We do not have any ground or any authority. Another important thing is that there are many things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us aware of those wisdoms. Many things. And I'll provide two examples. The first example is Adam alayhi salatu wassalam had to leave Jannah, and then his progeny began on this planet. So the question is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed Adam alayhi salatu wassalam in Jannah for some time. What is the reason that he had to leave? You know, we all wish we were there and we never came here. If Adam alayhi salatu wassalam didn't go near that tree, he would still be living there with his children, because death does not come in Jannah. So we would all be happy, no problem, no tension in life. Many times people think that way. So what could be the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in allowing Adam alayhi salatu wasalam to go to that tree so that he could be expelled from Jannah and start living here? The hikmah is one word, and it's called tawdeef. Tawdeef is to utilize something, to use someone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted Adam alayhi salatu wasalam and his children to worship Allah in a way that there are many hindrances on their way, yet they worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that could be achieved only on this planet, not in Jannah. Because when you are in Jannah, لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. No fear, no grief, no hindrance, nothing can block you from worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like angels. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had to create Adam and his progeny for Jannah, angels were already there, doing the same thing that Adam would do in Jannah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not want that to happen. He wanted to create a creation that worshipped Allah azza wa jal with hindrances, with problems. Yet they overcome those problems and they continue to worship Allah. And that could be achieved only in this dunya. For that purpose, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed Adam, he went closer to the tree, and that became the cause of his expulsion from Jannah. The second example is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declares in the Quran in multiple places about kuffar, that they will be in the hellfire, khalidina fiha, forever. And now one wonders, and this was, by the way, his second question, that 14-year-old kid, his second question. The question is that there are so many disbelievers who do not believe in Allah, who do not believe in Islam. Perhaps they believe in God, but they don't believe in Islam, they don't believe in Rasulullah's risala and prophethood, and they are very kind people. They are very good individuals. They follow the law of the land. They are very caring. They are very kind individual to others. They're very good to their neighbors. Yet they will end up in the hellfire forever. Why? Just because they don't believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just because they don't believe in your version of deen, your version of religion, they grow up practicing their own religion. And they believe in one or multiple gods, or maybe there are many who do not believe in any God. But they are very kind people. Why will Allah throw them in the hellfire? When this question comes from an atheist, and suppose he's talking to me directly, I always answer to him this way. I say, why do you care? I mean, if Jannah and Jahannam do not exist for you, why are you worried about it? You'll be dead and you will rot, and you'll be just converted into some atoms. And that's it. According to your belief, this is what's going to happen with you. So why do you care? But if this question comes from a Muslim, then I have to respond. And the response is that a person who does not believe in Allah or in His sifat, he is denying something that is infinite and limitless. Allah Azza wa Jal has countless characteristics. If a person does not believe in all of those characteristics, then he is denying something that is countless, something that is infinite, something that has no limit, no restriction. So when he will be punished in the hellfire, he will be there for countless number of days, for unlimited number of days. And we also ask, all those punishments that we see in our society, are they exactly according to the crime? For example, a person commits the crime of theft and he steals $500, $1,000, or little more, maybe $10,000 from a millionaire. A millionaire loses his $10,000, doesn't even know that I lost $10,000. He doesn't care. Maybe he's able to spend $10,000 on a single meal. But this person will go to jail, and perhaps he will end up in prison for several years. He cannot say that, look, I just got $10,000 from this millionaire who doesn't even care about it. And I will be, you're putting me in jail for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. That's not fair. The crime took hardly 10 minutes, and you're putting me in jail for 10 years? So punishment is not always according to the duration of crime. It's according to the severity of crime. And the crime of disbelief is the most serious and severe crime. Imagine this person who died not as a Muslim, as a disbeliever. If he was given time forever, suppose if he was given life that you're not going to die, he will remain disbeliever forever. So if that is the case, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that, so if that is the case, when he will die, he will be in the hellfire forever. So this is the hikmah. In Surah Al-Kahf, there is a story in the story of Khadir and Musa alayhi salatu wassalam. You know the third incident? It was that Musa alayhi salatu wassalam was traveling with Khadir, and Khadir saw a boy playing and he killed him. And Musa alayhi salatu wassalam questioned, what did you do? You killed an innocent boy? For what? And later on, Khadir alayhi salatu wassalam informed Musa alayhi salatu wassalam the hikmah behind that. He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had informed me that if this child will grow up, he will make his parents kafir. So it's better that he dies and he is killed so that his parents remain Muslim, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them another son who will be obedient to his parents. Now the question is, well, if that is the case, then why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created that child in the first place? You know, he should not have been born in the first place. If parents would lose their iman because of him, then why did Allah Azza wa Jal create him? He created him, then he made Khadir kill him. What's the point? What is the hikmah? A lot can be said. But one thing, that imagine if the child was never born. Do you think that his parents will get the reward of sabr? Because you have to have pain, you have to have loss in life to have sabr. If you never lose anything, you will never have sabr or patience. The reward of sabr is possible only when you have a biggest loss in life. And what can be bigger than losing a child? So they lost their child, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewarded them because of their sabr. As for the child, it's straight to Jannah, because he never committed any crime. And imagine on the day of judgment, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask that child that I didn't allow you to grow up and to be part of the society. In your childhood, you were killed. And today, you're going to Jannah straight, no Jahannam. Do you think this is a better choice? Or you should have been given a chance to live and grow up and become an adult, and then you would be judged based on your deeds? That would be a better option. I bet you the child will say that this is the better option. I'm going straight to Jannah. So there are many a'mal and acts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we do not know their wisdom. And sometimes we know. The second response to that question, Rahman and Qadir, the contradiction between Rahman and Qadir, is that in this world, absolute evil does not exist. Absolute evil. Whenever there is an evil, there is always khair and virtue. Even in Iblis. One can say, well, Iblis is absolute evil. What can he produce? Anything that can be called khair? He can never produce anything that is khair. He's absolute from head to toe. He is evil. He's sharp. But think about this. If Iblis wasn't there to misguide you, would you ever be guided? Because in order to be guided, you have to be misguided. Misguidance has to be there. Because in order for you to understand how light looks like, darkness has to be there. For you to understand how it tastes when you eat something sweet, you must have tasted in your life something that is sour. These are two opposites. There is no way you can understand the value of the daytime if you've never witnessed the nighttime. Imagine if you're born in a place where it's always day, always daytime. You've never seen night. You will never understand the importance of the day. We, as soon as the summer days start and the daytime brightness gets, we get more brightness, we always become happy. Why? Because we understand the value and the importance of the daytime. That is because we have experienced long nights in winter. There is a phrase in Arabic. It goes like this: وَبِالْأَصْدَادِ تَتَبَيَّنُ الْأَشْيَاءُ. When two opposites are there and you compare one with the other, that's when you get more clarity. So Iblis had to be there, misguidance had to be there, so that we understand the importance of guidance. And when we understand the importance of guidance and we adopt it, that's when we go to Jannah. So even Iblis, whom we think that he is absolute shar, can become means of khair for us, for those who avoid his misguidance and who overcome his misguidance and they choose guidance of Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. When Iblis was having a conversation with Allah Azza wa Jalla, when he refused to do sajda to Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, فَبِعِزَّتِكَ لَأُغْوِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. Oh Allah, by your majesty, I will misguide all of them. But then he made an exception. إِلَّا عِبَادَكَ مِنْهُمُ الْمُخْلِصِينَ. Except for your sincere slaves. I will have no control over them. He understood that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving me a limited power. Power over those people who are not sincere in their faith. They will be misguided by me. But those who have sincerity in their faith will not be misguided. I will have no control over them. They will be in Jannah. Though I will try my best to misguide them, they will be victorious against me. So, respected brothers and sisters, yes, we acknowledge that the evil exists in this world. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created that evil. But remember, creating an evil is not evil. Performing an evil act is evil. And how can we understand the difference between these two? With one example, and then I will conclude. The example is that suppose if I'm a teacher and all of you are my students, and I give you a test paper and it's multiple choice, and I give you 4 options and you have to pick one. But all 4 options are correct. All 4 of them are correct. There is no wrong. So you will be forced to score 100%. There will be no free will. You will be forced to be successful on that test. There is no option to fail it. But if I give you 3 wrong options and 1 right, and then you choose the right one, or you choose the wrong one, whatever, you cannot complain. Look at this evil teacher. He gave us, 3 options wrong, only 1 right. What type of test is this? Can you say that? No. Because the teacher, his job is to evaluate your understanding. And in order to evaluate that, those 3 wrong options have to be there on the test paper. But just because those 3 wrong options are there on the test paper does not mean that the teacher is not qualified, or he has no mercy for the students, or he is an evil guy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created evil so that he can test us. Now it is up to us whether we perform that evil or we avoid it. Reward or punishment is on performance, not on creation. Because we're not the creator, we're only performers. So we need to understand the difference. So those who say that there is a huge contradiction, either Allah is Al-Qadir or He is Al-Rahman, and if you go with one option then you have to cancel the other, is completely wrong. Because you have to subscribe the full package. The full package has countless sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and one of them is Al-Hakim. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to understand the Quran and Sunnah. Barakallahu feekum. And by the way, tonight is the Friday night, and it's also an odd night. Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali, a famous muhaddis, said that when that happens in the month of Ramadan, chances are that is Laylatul Qadr. So I had to share this with you before it's too late. If I tell you this tomorrow, what's the point? So you better catch Laylatul Qadr. It's not promised. Chances are that it is the Laylatul Qadr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to worship in this night of power. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum.